Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a long time since I made my last video, and at the end of my last video I had told you guys that I was going to be doing my review on the Kylie Valentine's Day bundle that dropped, but my phone wasn't working and I actually had to go get a new phone through a new provider. And then I finally invested in one of these ring lights because I noticed that the last video I made, it was dark and it was just a mess. I have hair dye on my hands, but yeah, okay, so today's video I'm gonna teach you guys how I do my eyebrows. I started doing my eyebrows when I was a freshman in high school, I believe, and I remember I would use like a pencil from like the Dollar Tree, and I would fill my eyebrows in, but I would fill them in lightly, and when I would outline them, I would outline them really dark so you could tell that like I filled them in like a lot, and then I made like the front like really blocky. I didn't know what a spoolie was, but yes. Alright, so it has taken me a good 3 years. Yeah, a good 3 years to get my eyebrows the way I originally wanted them. I would overpluck them, and then I have been going through something lately where my eyebrow hairs have been falling out, and I've gone to the doctor, but they don't tell me anything. So today I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in shade Ebony and the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush in 14. I like using Anastasia Beverly Hills to do my eyebrows because their product is, it's not too expensive, at least for me, but it might be expensive to some people. But I fell asleep one time with my eyebrows on after using this, and my eyebrows were still Gucci the next day. So what I do is I make sure I clean as much of the chunks off from the last time I used it, and I just dip it into my dip brow gel, and I take it out. And make sure to close this, because if you don't close it, I've never personally had it happen to me, but my sister, I know hers dries up on her really fast, and I just don't want to have to pay to buy something to make it the way it originally was if you keep the lid on it. But I put this on the back of my hand so I could work with it, and I play with it so I can take all the clumps out and make the brush really thin and smooth, like that. Okay, and let's see. I already did one eyebrow. I did it off camera because, I feel like I do better when I'm off camera. But, alright. The first thing I do first you have to have a clean eyebrow, because if you have product left over from yesterday or something, it's gonna show. You're gonna be able to tell that it's like a crusty eyebrow. But the first thing I do is I comb my eyebrow hairs up like this, and I like to twist my brush to make sure that the hairs go up and stay up, because sometimes when I don't twist the brush, they'll go up, but when I'm trying to apply the product, my eyebrow hairs will go down and they'll get in the way, and it's just a mess. So, let's see. Comb your hairs up like this with your spoolie, and then I try not to start from the very front because this product is kind of harsh. So I start by making a line about right there, and you just follow your natural brow shape until you have a complete line underneath your brow. that. I might have went a little... Okay, yeah, that looks fine. Because I always go back and fix it up later. But now, usually what I do is I take my spoolie end and I blend that harsh line up. Not too much, because I like my eyebrows dark. Just enough where it's not as harsh. And then I go back and I take more product off of the back of my hand and I work it onto my brush. And then I go in and make hair strokes where I have no hair. Alright, like I said, I try to be less generous with the product at the front because sometimes it could be kind of harsh. And when I first started using this product, I would just plop it right on there and I would not be able to blend it. That's that for the bottom part, and I know they're uneven right now, but after I go through and I can clean it with the concealer, I fill in the parts that need to be filled in. Okay, and now I take my spoolie and I brush the top hairs down, and I have not had my eyebrows, I haven't done my, waxed them in a long time, so I need to really make sure I comb them down right, otherwise they will pop up when I am trying to do the top outline. And once again, you just follow your natural brow shape. Like that. And then now I just go in and I fill in the areas that need to be filled in. Like that. And now I will put my remaining product back in the into the little thing because, you know, I like to scrape my shit down to the bottom. And then I'll put my brush back. Oh no, I won't put my brush back right now because I usually mess it up when I'm cleaning with a concealer, because I don't have a very steady hand. So I will clean the product off the back of my hand with a regular light beam. And I will go ahead and carve my brows with concealer. I use this Morphe flat brush. I don't know which one it is, and it always works best when it's dirty, because the dirtier it is, the skinnier you can work the product on to get the brush skinny, so you can be precise. And I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Lending Conceal and Define in C5. I like using a really light concealer to carve my brows because it contrasts with the dark and it looks really nice. Or at least I think it does. So you put that on the back of your hand and you do the same thing to this brush. You just work it on this brush. And now I will go in and I will carve the bottom of my brow. I don't know why I said bottom like that. Like that. And I just like to blend it with my finger because, I mean, eventually your eyeshadow primer, or you can, I know some people use just concealer to do it, you use to prime your eyelids before you put on your eyeshadow. See? And now I have product on the brush from putting it back into the container. I can go in and fill in where it needs to be filled in. Like that. Yep. And then for the top part, like carving the outer part of my eyebrow, I like to use my foundation so that way I don't have the harsh lines that are like 5 times like lighter than my skin tone on the outside of my brows because it just looks stupid. So I just put a tiny little drop of my foundation and I put it right on top of the concealer so that way it lightens it a little bit more, because I mean the bitch who shade matched me at Ulta could not shade match for shit. I mean, I know she tried, but just do the same thing on the outer part of your eyebrow. Let's see if I could. And like I said, I blend mine up with my finger. I know some people like to completely blend it out with the brush, but I don't like that. And I go in and I fill in spots that need to be filled in. I usually always mess up my eyebrows doing this. Oh well, I'm just gonna leave it. It looks pointy on the end for some reason. Well, yep, I'm gonna leave it like that and get my wipe and wipe the product off the back of my hand. And I go now after this, when I notice there's like some areas where the product doesn't like to cover, I grab my original Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette and I grab, let's see, like a really small brush, and I go into this really dark brown, the darkest brown in there, and let's see, I just go in and fill in the spaces that need more filling in. that. And that is how I do my eyebrows.